President Trump's AI czar, David Sachs, called out Senator Elizabeth Warren this week.
His complaint centers around crypto regulation. Here's Sachs on Fox News' Jesse Waters Primetime.
What the Biden administration was doing, and let's face it, it wasn't Biden. Elizabeth Warren controlled the auto pen during that administration. She, for some reason, has this pathological hatred of the crypto community. She wants to drive this community offshore. She doesn't want it happening in the United States. That's the wrong policy for the United States. We want all the innovation happening here. This is a financial system of the future. It's cheaper, it's more efficient. We want it happening here, Jesse, and I think people are thrilled that President Trump is making that possible.
Sachs later clarified that Warren was controlling the so-called auto pen only when it came to crypto, as in she was calling the shots during the Biden administration on that policy.
Earlier this year, Warren told reporters, quote, "I believe that Democrats understand the importance of consumer protections and anti-money laundering curbs in any new financial product. All we're looking for is a level playing field between crypto and all of the other financial systems."
Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance was at the Bitcoin 2025 conference where he praised cryptocurrency. Let's watch.
There's still this perception that digital assets are not welcome in the mainstream economy, and let me promise you that our effort to change the policy is purely about changing that. We want our fellow Americans to know that crypto and digital assets, and particularly Bitcoin, are part of the mainstream economy and are here to stay.
On this issue, I am completely aligned with J.D. Vance and Trump. I think cryptocurrency is very promising technology, that it can be a smart investment for some people. It certainly comes with risks. The market for it has gone up and down, and you should, think about what you're getting into. But I don't believe the government's role is to shield people from their own personal financial choices. I am deeply skeptical of Elizabeth Warren as a regulator and a legislator. I think she has, to David Sachs' point, been extremely anti-crypto, extremely against this emerging technology, which, again, other countries will move forward with. And so we obviously need some regulatory framework for crypto. That's going to be worked out. I'm not saying there should be no guardrails whatsoever, but I would encourage regulators to be open-minded to the market development of this technology, which could be an important part of our economy in the future, particularly as people lose trust in the dollar system, in our currency being devalued by runaway inflation and other monetary policies. This could end up one day being an even more stable option. I think it's a great option actually for people in developing economies where there's not a lot of trust in the central currency. You could invest in this instead. But I'm not a salesman for it. If you do it if you think it's a good idea, and don't do it if you don't want to. That's fine by me, and I hope regulators keep all that in mind.
Elizabeth Warren has been consistent in her criticism of big banks, in her criticism of cryptocurrency, and I think she's just simply doing her job as a legislator. She doesn't want to see financial fraud. She doesn't want to see our national security at risk. She doesn't want to see a lack of consumer protections. And so she's just making sure that as we embrace this new currency, we also have protections in place the same way that we do in banks when you put your money there, and that needed to be set up. And so we want to make sure that this is all organized and done, which is why we have a government, right? They're supposed to be protecting us. She's doing her job. I also know that the crypto conversation crosses party lines. So Senator Kirsten Gillibrand in New York, she took a lead role in being on the side of the GOP to try to craft some documentation and bills around this. Yeah, she actually wants to even step aside and maybe fracture party unity to have a conversation about what the next steps are. And I think where Democrats and Republicans get in their own way is by relying on old school tactics and being so establishment that they can't understand what new young people are interested in, what the future looks like. And so importantly, I think there's a conversation that should be had with people like Elizabeth Warren and Kirsten Gillibrand to come to the table and figure out what does responsible embracing of cryptocurrency look like. I think that that's a great starting point. But I don't think we should just say, let it in, stop being, like, who says that she doesn't want to do the right thing? Well, what's considered right to me is just making sure that Americans have some type of protection.
Well, but here's the problem with protection, and I appreciate very much what Senator Gillibrand has done. What I don't like about Senator Warren's approach to consumer protection is, right, she'll say, oh, this is fraud, or this financial company or service or business is taking advantage of its customers, and there needs to be, the mechanism is always some kind of fine for that company. Well, guess what? they pass that fine on to the consumers themselves. So the end result of consumer protective legislative action, fines, regulation is always just that service that people voluntarily signed up for, that they wanted, that they valued, becoming more expensive for them. That's how it works every single time. I think most people would rather not pay more in fees for the thing than have consumer financial protection. That's its end result. And they pass that on to you every single time. The credit card company, the real estate company, whatever the sector is, the tech company, you're just going to end up paying more for the thing. And that's what results from consumer protection. It's a industry, a government industry of making things more expensive for people in the rationale that you didn't actually like or want the service that you willingly signed up for, which I find suspect.
Well, I just think that instead of doing speeches and instead of writing op-eds and all the different things about the people that you disagree with, perhaps people who disagree with Elizabeth Warren should try speaking with her. Perhaps Kirsten Gillibrand and Elizabeth Warren should speak together. We invite her on Rising.
I'd be happy to have either of them on.
And we should have dialogue, because I think that crypto should be embraced, but I also think there should be protections around it.
Well, that does it for us today on Rising Live. Look out for more exclusive YouTube content coming your way today. And in the meantime, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to The Hill's YouTube channel so you never miss any of our content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you can find podcasts. Friday is around the corner. That will be a different team. We'll see you back here next week. Bye-bye. Have a good one.